You know what is so amazing about Elden Ring? How one game can be so innovative but also so outdated at the same time. In my opinion, Elden Ring Studio, they really know how to make great games, we all know that. But they don't know how to make complete games, right? And it almost feels like they're stuck 20 years in the past, you know? They have all these tools, they know how to make great games, but they're simply stuck in the past. And in my opinion, Elden Ring could easily be 2-3 times more popular game. And Elden Ring itself, like, in my opinion, Elden Ring doesn't really have real replayability, because real replayability comes from multiplayer elements. If you do things right, people make their own content and they will always come back. And this has been a huge issue. You know, a lot of these games, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy, Monster Hunter, Soul series, you know, they put so much effort into making these games, but at the end of the day, these games don't really last for more than few years, because again, they have no replayability, and that's probably the biggest problem with Elden Ring. This guy Miyazaki always saying that he's trying to make a dream RPG game, you know, role-playing game, but without any social elements, without any multiplayer elements, he will never reach that stage. You know, games are meant to be played with others, but also against others. Competition, rivalry is a good thing. Why are we still mixing competitive spirit with toxicity? You know, I don't understand. There's so many passionate players out there. Like, nobody's tell you to change how that Elden Ring or Soul series is a primarily a single player game, but to totally dismiss anything else is just true ignorance. It's like, he always talk like, oh, I wanna make a dream game. How can you make a dream game when you simply ignore what makes gaming fun in the first place? When you ignore any innovation. You guys have all the tools to make a dream game, but you know, these Japanese gaming studios, you know, it's like, in my opinion, like, they're supposed to make dream game for us, you know, and they have all the right tools to do it, but they're still being stuck in the past. They think that competition, multiplayer and social elements are a bad thing, and we see that in every big franchise they have. Elden Ring, Final Fantasy, Monster Hunter, almost zero multiplayer elements, zero social elements, barely any open world elements, you know, and that's a fact. So how can people say that Elden Ring is such a great game, you know? It's dishonest, it's not, it's just sellouts. And then of course, all this capitalism, society, consumers will just take it and they will sell their souls so they can make money. Because in America, if you wanna survive, you have to make money. Even they have the worst healthcare, the worst, you know. Of course they have to make money, and it's okay to make money. But just to sell your soul, and then the problem with capitalism platform and society is basically that it's based on illusion. How long can we keep up the illusion, right? And now that we have AI bots, it's easier than ever to manipulate thousands of people. And your opinion doesn't matter anymore, it's just about promotion, really. And they know that, right? That's the game hasn't seen innovation, not only because they have this outdated mentality that social elements and multiplayer and competition is a bad thing, but also because they know the American consumers will always buy their products because they're literally born to be consumers. They're manipulated into becoming a consumer. They have to be consumer if they want to survive, and they know that. That's why they don't need to innovate, you know. It's kinda sad because I'm really disappointed, because Miyazaki is supposed to make dream game for us. And we have the same problems in Final Fantasy, we have the same problems in Monster Hunter franchise. One of the best franchises in the world. But Final Fantasy, they call it a social game, yet the game doesn't have basic social features. No chat bubbles, no voice chat. All you do is watch in the chat box in the corner of the screen. That's such a bad social interaction, such a bad social experience. It's not fun. You have to install items to even have chat bubbles, the games that 20 years ago had that. Monster Hunters, the same problem. You return back to the city is empty, no players running around, the world doesn't feel alive. Then what's the point? Why would I play a game that doesn't feel alive? That's the whole point of gaming, interacting with other players in the same world. If you are not doing it in real life because of many reasons, we wanna do it in game, you know? Rewarding, having a feeling of progression, that was the whole game was always designed around. And on top of that, in Monster Hunter you cannot even tame monsters, which is probably the most fun thing. The stronger you are, the stronger monsters you can tame. Like, so much wasted potential. Like, it's so sad how much wasted potential, because they really have the tools to make the dream game for us. What fans have been asking from since Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, you know? And now they're becoming just like another capitalism company. People always praise Miyazaki for such a... but they're literally just becoming another capitalism company that charges way too much money for their outdated products, and they use a bunch of manipulation of social media. Like, is it really what Miyazaki is all about? Like, I have higher standards. I expect more from him. As somebody who's a passionate content creator, as somebody he's been loving gaming since I came here. Like, Miyazaki really needs to ask himself, what does he want from his game? Does his games wants to be lonely? Does his games wants to be have no meaning, no reason? Because that's how Elden Ring feels right now. You have no replayability, all the spells and weapons you acquire doesn't really matter, because you can't really try them against, you know, players, bosses, because you cannot reset character stats because of limited larva tiers. You cannot try it in PvP because the PvP is outdated. Peer-to-peer connection, no leaderboards, no rewards, no social elements, nothing. You know? He's really kinda disappointing, like, I don't know, man. It's just guys trying to make money. And their opinion at the end of the day doesn't really matter, because they're not real passionate players. They're just guys trying to make money in capitalism society. You know? Now we have all these guys, you know. You know, the new thing is always exciting. But what is also is a good opportunity to make money and get views. Right? That's why so many people jump on this now. And in few months, when people go over this game, we're still gonna come back to the same old issues. No replayability, no multiplayer elements, no social elements, you know. In my opinion, the King's Avatar animation is one of the best gaming animation out there that can really teaches you how to make a complete game. And we have to know that today we live in capitalism society, and the whole capitalism society is based on illusion and manipulation. And we have seen that especially now when the Elden Ring DLC is coming out. There are all these content creators coming out of a woodwork, praising the game, saying how good the game is, right? And then one day you realize that 90% of these guys are actually just sellouts, and a lot of these guys are just getting paid to promote this product. There is no critical thinking anymore, there is no real passion anymore. It's just a huge business, right? And that's why, in my opinion, a lot of these games in this studio, they don't even innovate anymore, right? Let's just, you know, you type Elden Ring DLC, you have countless of guys. And a lot of these content creators are literally getting paid. You know, it's not... And what is even worse, it's not only are these guys getting paid and using bots all over social media to manipulate algorithm and their viewers, but a lot of, you know, these big companies, they also, you know, pay these content creators to promote their products. you know. And then one day you realize that 90% of these people are just bots. They have no critical thinking. It's almost impossible to even find these days a good Elden Ring video where there will be a good criticism. You know, you don't need to be negative for criticism. You know, it's all about being passionate and, you know, wanting to see improved. You know, it's almost a miracle how Elden Ring becomes so popular when the game is so outdated, when we have so much outdated game design, really. And you know, I'm just one guy. My opinion doesn't matter. I'm just an outsider, you know. But we EU guys, we are usually really, you know, passionate what we talk about. We are not selling our soul, you know, and that's why we barely get any views. We don't use bots all over social media, promotional accounts, like most of these guys who appear at the top. But that's also what makes us special, you know, what makes us innovative. But you know, it's so like, you know, one side of me really wants to try Elden Ring expansion, so we can, you know, maybe get some more views, right? It's a popular thing to do right now. But at the same time, it just goes against everything I stand for, right? And when you watch all these guys, all these content farmers, all these guys who getting paid to promote the product, it's like, it just loses the meaning, you know. These guys will never criticize this. They're getting paid to promote the game, right? Only selected content creators got to play beta, and of course they always got ahead. That's why we also have no chances as a content creators, because only these guys, only these sellout guys will get, with a lot of subscribers, a lot of bots in the comments. You know, I'm not saying bots as a people, but, you know, they use promotional accounts to manipulate algorithm and their viewers. Only those guys get, you know, access to beta, so they can be the first one to make content for the Elden Ring expansion and be the first one to get views, right? It's like, it's kinda lame. Honestly, it's kinda lame. Like, it's just so disappointing, you know? This is not just about Elden Ring, about everything. Social media, content creation, used to be something we loved, something we are passionate about. But now it's just a bunch of sellout guys, just big manipulation going everywhere. You know, people getting paid to promote the products. No real opinions anymore, no real passion anymore. And only when it's actually a popular thing to criticize, you know, a few months after the DLC comes out, only then they will start making videos of how we, you know, criticize the game and yada yada yada. It's like, come on guys, is there any real person anymore, like anybody who's actually passionate about this? And guys like me, we will never get views, you know, we'll never get views on these platforms. And, you know, maybe one day somebody will watch my video and say, oh, he was right, maybe, you know, but that's a presumptuous thing to say, you know. It just pisses me off, like, there are so many small content creators who barely get any views, and then all these sellouts who use bots all over, who use countless of bots on social media, who getting paid. These guys get so much money, right? It's always the manipulators and guys who are sellouts who getting anything out of these platforms anymore. And that's why YouTube has been slowly dying. YouTube was about, you know, creativity, about sharing your thoughts, being creative, being passionate. Now it's just about manipulation, sellout, you know. Reichful was right. Reichful was actually the one who invented donations for Twitch streamers. And he was already 10 years ago, he was saying about this, like, that's why he was so depressed, because he realized that, you know, it's all bullshit, you know. And how these platforms are designed, how you have no chances as a content creator, as anybody who has innovative opinion. I mean, maybe they're just me, you know. I have very innovative opinion, I know. That's what the Sagittarius rising people are. We are very tinfoil, you know, we are very... And...
What's up, guys?
I don't know. I'm still not sure should I buy Elden Ring or not. But, you know, Elden Ring might be a new content for, you know, you're gonna play it for like 1 week or 2. And then it's gonna have the same problems. Outdated combat, outdated pair-to-pair connection. No leaderboards, no social features, no interaction. The game doesn't even feel alive. This guy, Miyazaki, always saying that he's trying to make a dream RPG game, you know, role-playing game, but without any social elements, without any multiplayer elements, he will never reach that stage. You know, games are meant to be played with others, but also against others. Competition, rivalry is a good thing. Why are we still mixing competitive spirit with toxicity? You know, I don't understand. There's so many passionate players out there. Like, nobody's tell you to change how that Elden Ring or Soul series is a primarily single player game, but to totally dismiss anything else is just true ignorance. It's like he always talk like, oh, I wanna make a dream game. How can you make a dream game when you simply ignore what makes gaming fun in the first place? When you ignore any innovation. You guys have all the tools to make a dream game, but